Who remembers when $200 Canadian was more than enough to go to the grocery store? Like, if you were going with $200, $250 Canadian, I was feeling like Tony Montana. The amount of groceries that I could get, my whole cart would be full to the top. Now, when I go to the grocery store, if I don't double this or triple this money, I won't be able to get my groceries. And even when I'm leaving the grocery store, I'm still thinking about, oh, I forgot to get that. I could have
Yeah,
got
guys,
that.
she's not lying. It's literally as recently as 2008, things were way more affordable in Canada. And now the cost of living is continuing to get tighter and tighter for your average Canadian, from Quebec to Ontario to all around Canada. Canadians are getting really, really squeezed, such that we're now leaving to work and just pay bills, almost like the Americans, right, fellas? And you know it's bad when even Quebec's housing market is becoming unattainable for your average Quebecer.
You're a renter in Quebec, well, get ready because your rent is about to climb further in 2025. So how much is Quebec expecting you to pay if you rent? Prices are going to go up, and they're going to go up by 5.9%. That's the biggest single year rent hike in the last 30 years. So just to put this in perspective, right? If a tenant is paying $1,000 per month, that means over the course of a year, that's an additional $708. This is not good news for anybody renting. I'm going to break it down to you for you even further. Tenants living in homes where heat is not included in the rent, they could see their rent increase 5.9%. If your heat is included in the rent, then for homes with electric heating,
You know what they say about the French, right? They complain the most, and you know what they say about the loudest voice is the loudest mouth gets fed the most. Quebec actually has one of the lowest rents in all of Canada, and the reason why is because they're the most vocal about their concerns, and they're the most active, right? They do not put up with crap from landlords, and they have this thing where a tenant can simply agree to pay a rent, and then once they move in, they can apply with the tribunal for a rent fixation. So you can just jack up the rent to market rates in between tenants. I think Quebec is one of the only provinces in Canada that has that. But meanwhile, property taxes, insurance continues to go up, right? So I don't really know that it's even right to really tie the hands of landlords. Meanwhile, the government continues to continues to drastically increase their property taxes and all their taxes. Bills continues to go higher. Maintenance costs continues to go higher because contractors are charging a lot more now. So really, should the government be getting back into building at this point? I definitely think the government should be getting back into into building, not cleaning. Yes, they should definitely clean up this mess. But yes, they should also get back into cleaning. Oh my God. I said it again. I can't talk tonight. Yes, the government should absolutely get back into building, not cleaning. Because it's simple economics, right? Econ 101, the higher you have for your supply of housing, then obviously the cheaper it's going to go, right? Right now we have a lot of demand because they've just really jacked up the immigration in recent years, and not enough supply. And it's not enough for private landlords with their hands tied to provide housing. So I think the government really needs to be jumping in here and also assisting. But y'all comment down below. Do you want the government to get back into building houses?
I just found out that the city that I live in, that I was born, raised, grew up in, is now the third most expensive city in the entire world. I live in Canada. You hear cities like New York being the most expensive.
Yeah, real quick, comment down below if anyone can guess what city she's talking about. What city is that she's from?
It's known to be the most expensive. But you know something is wrong when you live in Canada and they say, oh, you have freedom, you have this, you have that. But we're just living and work here. There's no enjoyment. If you just want to have an impromptu fun brunch or go out with your friends once in a while, you have to plan it. You can't just go out anymore. You have to actually plan and budget it into your money, or you will be in debt. We're actually probably all in debt. Probably 99% of us are in debt because the wages that we get in Canada versus what we actually are paying, it doesn't match up. No one can afford to live like we do. I was just talking to this girl from Colombia, and she said she went to LA, and she said their groceries are 1,000 times cheaper than ours. She went into this store called Ali, I think, and she said she was in a state of shock of how cheap your produce is, how cheap your meat is, how cheap it is to actually make a meal at home.
Yeah, she's really not joking about this, right? Like a lot of times you hear the Americans, they're always complaining about their cost of living. And then I kind of just laugh when I think about it, right? Because I know for a fact my sister moved from Canada to the US, to be specific to Texas, last year, and she can't believe how much cheaper it is, right? Not to mention they have no state taxes, so like she is saving so much more money in Canada, in Texas, than she was when she was living in Canada. But although it's all relative, right? You have folks in Canada where, like, well, at least me, I really think they have it better in the US. And then you have people in second and third world countries thinking us in Canada, we're just complaining and we have it really good, right? So yeah, life is really funny that way.
You go to a grocery store in Canada and you want to maybe buy 5 apples, you're maybe paying like $6-7. I'm not even joking. For apples that are grown off a tree. I maybe will buy 4 products at a grocery store, 5, and I'm spending over $20 hands down. Even toilet paper that you use to wipe your ass with is being charged for like $10. And I'm like, I don't even want to buy it. Maybe charge $3, $4. No.
Yeah, comment down below if you're still using toilet paper in this economy, right? Like, everybody knows that water is way more hygienic for you, right?
Minimum 10 for toilet paper. Our minimum wage here is $17 an hour. So if you want to go buy some toilet paper, that's more than half your hourly wage. If you want to drive, our gas is $2 a liter. More, it's minimum $2 a liter. It's going up all the time. I live in Vancouver and the rent is absolutely insanity here. It goes up every year.
Ding, 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 ding. She lives in Vancouver, right? I never could understand how anybody could afford to live in places like Vancouver and Toronto, right? For me, it's not even an option living in any of those places because it's just really ridiculous, right?
People have to live out in the burbs because they can't afford to live in the city anymore. If you want to be in Vancouver, they're charging for a studio tiny little shack in downtown over $2,000 a month for one person.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Meanwhile, Vancouver is known to have like major drug issues, yet you still have this kind of like high cost of living. So it's no wonder people are on drugs, right? Probably nobody can stay sober. No one can afford to stay sober under such excruciating cost of living expenses, right? But anyways, I thank you all for stopping by. Your comment down below, let me know where you're situated. If you're in Canada, Australia, UK, USA. Also smash that like, smash that subscribe, and until next time, peace.